How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a story time for you guys that I really think you'll enjoy because I think most of you guys enjoy games, at least to a little bit. I know at least I enjoy Minecraft, as you're seeing in the background. And today's story takes place back when I was in 5th grade and I went to a summer camp. And one of my friends at the camp really liked this girl, and this girl basically said no to him and said that I said no to you because you play games and I hate gamers and gamers are disgusting. That's basically what she told him. But at the end of the story, there's a pretty crazy twist that really does make the whole thing worth listening to, so I do hope you guys enjoy. And if you don't want to be called disgusting by your crush, subscribe to the channel with notifications on because you won't see my stories otherwise. And also leave a like on the video as I'm feeling generous today and will give you nothing in return if you do so. And yeah, let's hop right into the story. So as I said a little bit in the beginning of the video, I went to this summer camp for 2 weeks when I was in 5th grade. And so I got there and I didn't really know anyone there. And in the very beginning of the summer camp, there was a lot of icebreaker activities. At this time in 5th grade, as you guys might know from some of my other story times, I was a big fan of Minecraft. I kind of didn't really play it that much in like the beginning of high school, but definitely like 5th grade, 6th grade, I was a big fan of it. And a lot of my school friends and I would spend a lot of time talking about it. We would play it. It was really just a really good time, just a fun time. Also, my friend was a big fan of Mega Walls at the time, if you remember that game. That has a lot of memories to me. Anyways, though, I'm at this camp, right, and I don't know anyone, and there's an icebreaker activity. Basically, the icebreaker activity goes along the lines of basically someone can basically say something that they like or they really like, and then basically anyone else who like also enjoys that subject matter can like come to the middle and like, you know, talk to the people and like hang out with them or whatever. So the game was played a little bit, and there was some kind of like generic stuff like I like ice cream, I like dogs, and it's like, yeah, I like ice cream, I like dogs, and I went to the center for those, but because it was so like broad and generic, like half the like if not more than half the people went to the center, so it wasn't super helpful. Basically, then this one guy comes to the center and he basically says that he really likes Minecraft. And now this one was a bit more specific, and while Minecraft was super popular at the time, it was really only like 4 to 5 guys who went to the center, and I was one of the 4 to 5 guys. And because this was kind of a smaller group of people, the thing is, those actually became my friends during the 2 weeks at camp. I'm actually still somewhat in contact with like a few of them. But basically, those 4 to 5 guys are the kind of the main friends I have at the camp. And one of them is one of the main protagonists at the camp as well. And his name is Will. So my other, like, you know, the other 4, or I think it was like, yeah, the other 3 friends at that time, because there was like 5 people in the center. One of them was me, one of them was Will. The other 3 friends, they still play a role in the story, but like not big enough that I should give them a name and then get confused. So if they say something, I'll just say one of my friends said, and this assume it's not me or Will who said that. So we kind of form a little friend group, and it's not like a clique or anything. If anyone wanted to be friends with us, they could, but you know, we kind of like, we started talking about Minecraft. We started talking about like our favorite things to do, if there are any servers we like to play on, like basically our thoughts of what they should add, all that. Is Hero Brian real, you know, all that good stuff, man. But anyways, right, so the day goes on and like there's a nighttime activity and we're just still sticking together. And right, so you know, we've kind of formed a friend group, and we really like Minecraft, but we're also kind of known as like the group of kids that went to the center who said that they really liked Minecraft. I'm not saying that like everyone else like didn't like it, but we were like the five of us. We were like the 5 kids that were like known to be the kids who liked Minecraft, because we all went to the center, and then afterwards everyone always saw us together. So that was kind of a reputation, which was very fair, if I'm going to be honest, because that's like all we talked about, man. That's kind of all we talked about. Anyways, so a couple days into the 2-week-long camp, my friend Will comes back to us and tells us about this girl who he met at one of these kind of like camp activities. And this girl's name, let's just call her Sarah, right? So, you know, Will basically was like, you know, he was at one of these activities, and we weren't there because during the day, you know, they kind of choose what you do half the time, like for the activities. Some activities you just kind of can go to with your friends, but a lot of these activities, right, you kind of have to go to with like, you're assigned them, and it's kind of whoever you meet, which is good because if you don't really have like a group of friends there, it's always an opportunity to meet people. So it makes a lot of sense, right? But anyways, while he was there was this new girl there. Her name was Sarah, and he was like, yo, I really like this girl. So obviously we were super supportive and we're like, okay, man, you're totally gonna get Sarah. Don't even think about it. Like, we got you. Like, we'll come up with something. Like, we got your back on this. And it was kind of fun, man. Like, it's always fun when you're like, especially like back when you're a little kid, your friend had a crush on someone. You're like, ooh, right, right, right. But, and then you're like, okay, let's come up with a plan, guys. And then you make it all serious for no reason. We're like, okay, time for a top secret meeting, right? So we all got into like, we had to like check the room, we had to go in there, we got like a whiteboard, we're like, all right, what's the plan? Basically, we sat down and we decided that the best course of action would be that Will would go and talk to her the next day because there were kind of like free period like times. There's like lunch and then there was kind of like a recess type thing where basically you could go hang out with whoever, right? And so even if he didn't get her in another one of these activities, because that was kind of like randomly selected and we didn't want to play the odds game, especially since we had such limited time at this point and we just didn't have enough time to like really like we couldn't bet on that basically. We wanted him to go up and talk to her one more time, and then after that, basically admit how he feels and ask if she wants to do something after camp, because this camp was kind of held locally. It wasn't an overnight camp, it wasn't a sleepaway camp, and basically at the end of the day, like, you went home, so maybe they could go see a movie or something. But basically, we wanted him to talk to her one more time, and then kind of, pull the trigger and see what we can do, right? So the next day, Will eventually gets the courage to talk to her, and it's recess period, so we don't all go up to talk to her with him, but we're like far enough away that we're obviously like, well, we didn't think was obvious. In retrospect, we were kind of looking, laughing, and maybe we were pointing, so maybe it was a little obvious, right? But but at the time we thought we were far enough away that like she wouldn't notice that we were watching, and we were basically looking at what was happening, and from our perspective, it looked like it was going really well because Will was talking to her and she didn't like, I don't know, run away. I guess the fact that she responded was like a win enough for us, which I don't know what that says, but that definitely hey, she responded to him. That was good enough for us. We were like, okay, he's got this in the bag. So the next day rolls around and we're like, okay, bro, okay, Will, it's finally the day. All you got to do is ask her out on a date to the movies. Like, how could it go wrong? You guys spoke once. That has to be good enough. Of course, fifth grade logic, but whatever, man. It was what it was. So anyways, right, so we're outside at recess, and we don't want to, like, crowd him. So we do the same thing. We stand away far enough that, like, we can kind of see what's going on, but we can't actually hear what's going on. And we see Will go up to her. We see him get, her attention. We see him say something, and then we see Sarah's face, and it looks kind of amused, and I was like, okay, amused is better than angry or crying, but amused isn't exactly what we're looking for here, you know what I mean? So Will looks a little defeated, and we're like, okay, this can't be good. So he comes back, and basically we're like, okay, dude, what happened? And he just looks at us all defeated like, I don't really want to talk about it. So you already knew, like, right away that it wasn't going to be good. So basically, we didn't ask Will about it for a second, but by the end of the day, before we left, he was like, guys, okay, let's talk about what happened. I think you guys at least deserve to know. Just TLDR didn't go well, so just be heads up for that. So we're like, oh man, we're sorry about that. But then he told us the details, bro. Goes on to explain that Sarah said, no, I will not go on a date with you. I don't want to go on a date with someone who's a gamer like you. You're known as one of the Minecraft kids, and I would never be caught going out with someone who is one of the Minecraft kids, so no. Basically being extra rude about it, basically saying that, like, because he played Minecraft, because he played games, she would never go out with him, basically. This sounds a little cruel and petty, but remember, this was 5th grade. Even for 5th grade, to be fair, this was cruel and petty, but remember, it kind of not expected, but, like, this isn't, like, high school or college. This is still middle school, but at the same time, man, even we thought this was a little mean back in the day. You might be thinking, wow, this is kind of a sad story. Let me just say that, it gets a lot better. There's a pretty big twist. But before I get into the twist, if you made it this far into the video, comment door down below, like the thing that you enter a building with, like a door. I just want to see how many people made it this far into the video, as I really do appreciate people watching my videos all the way. So basically, the next day rolls around, and somehow we figure out that Sarah has a thing for this other guy at this camp named PJ. I think I was telling one of my other friends there who was like friends with Sarah about the whole thing that went down, and she basically explained, she said, "Oh, that's so tough. Like, I don't know why she was mean about it." Then she also said something about how Sarah had a thing for PJ so that Will shouldn't feel bad because, she probably wasn't going to go out with them, video games or not. And I was like, okay, that's good to know. And funny enough, so the day goes on and we're actually in a group. And this is one of those one of those kind of like group activities where where you're assigned. And we got pretty lucky. All my friends and I were in the same group. And then also PJ was in the same group. So we're talking to PJ, and he's actually a pretty cool guy. And I don't really explain to Will that, Sarah has a thing for him since, like, I just learned it, and we just met the guy, and I was like, he seems cool enough, right? Like, and I didn't want to open, like, old wounds or anything. So I was just like, okay, like, whatever. I told him eventually, but in the beginning, it was just like we were just chilling with them. It was a good time. And eventually, the topic of like Minecraft comes up, and PJ admits that he actually is also a pretty big fan. I don't want to say admits, man. He was proud about it. He enjoyed it, right? The only person who really seemed it to be like something you'd want to admit would be Sarah, bro. She's the only person who really thought it as something as like shameful or something. I don't even know. But anyways, PJ admits that, he also plays Minecraft. So, we talk about that, and we actually kind of bond over that, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, the thing is, like, he actually kind of joined our group afterwards. This was about a week in, so we didn't have a ton of time with him, but it was still kind of nice, right? So the next couple of days, okay, so we had a weekend break, and we talked to him a little bit over that. And then when we came back the next week, we hung out the first couple of days together. And the next week, he was kind of like now part of our group or whatever, because we all kind of enjoyed Minecraft, right? And just so you know, over the weekend, I did tell Will, I'm like, hey, by the way, I found out that Sarah, also likes this PJ guy, so just be aware. I hope it doesn't matter. And he said, yeah, no, it really doesn't matter at all. He was kind of over the whole Sarah thing anyways. I mean, we were just at camp. We were in 5th grade. Minecraft was obviously much more important to us at the time. So we're all sitting at lunch one day, and I see Sarah walking up to the table that we're sitting with, and it's me, my friends, Will is there, and PJ, who is now one of our buddies too. He's also sitting at the lunch table, and he was kind of facing behind her, so he didn't really see her coming, and I was just thinking to myself, okay, man, this is going to be interesting. What's about to go down? So Sarah came up to PJ, and, apparently they've been talking a little bit throughout the last week or so. PJ wasn't aware of the whole Will thing, which we just didn't think was necessary. Like, at this point, he was over it. We were over it. It would have just made drama. But Sarah had been talking to PJ for a little bit, and then Sarah, while just kind of standing there, after a little bit of small talk, was like, while Will was there, she knew Will was there, so this was a little bit extra cruel just because of that fact. But Sarah basically goes to PJ and says, hey, do you want to maybe go to the movies tonight? And it was a Wednesday. And then PJ looks at her and says, sorry, I got plans. I'm actually going back and playing Minecraft with these guys. Sarah was like, okay, and left. And while we didn't explain to PJ why that was probably the best, most incredible thing he could have ever done, and why Will probably loved him 10x times as much as he did before. We couldn't explain it to him, but bro, I was looking at Will's face after that. He was just sitting there, and he was just smiling because this girl basically rejected him because, oh no, he played Minecraft. And then all of a sudden, the guy of her dreams rejects her to go play Minecraft with Will. And it was a good way to end the camp. And we had no more drama for the rest of the camp. We had a good last couple days together, and some of us even still talk to this day, which is pretty cool. Anyways, guys, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support the channel, all you got to do is watch another one of my videos. There's a chance that you'll see some videos on screen right now, and if not, just go ahead and click on my channel. But also feel free, if you want to watch more Storytime videos, to click the Storytime playlist on screen. And if you don't see it for some reason, Storytime playlist will also be linked in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. I really do appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, peace.